Hi guys, today we're going to react to Seven Sins by REN. This is a Buy Me a Coffee request by Robert M. Thank you, Robert, for yet another request.
Thank you, Robert. We appreciate the support yet again. Robert's request is a bit of a slightly unusual one. This is a video that was made to REN's Seven Sins by an independent artist, a filmmaker named Mark Lalonde. He did it with the assistance of AI in some ways, and this is, I assume, Mark's vision according to how he interprets REN's song. We can only assume because we haven't seen it yet, but this is the link that Robert sent us to react to, so that's what we're going to do. So let's find out.
I lay broken on the kitchen floor. I clawed at the laminate. Pain wandered my body, an uninvited guest. Bones of a home where the devil could rest. I cursed the gods, cursed my messiah, cursed my maker. I cursed all of creation. There I lay, feeble and thin. Sick boy, seven my sin. Have you ever felt pain? Stomach wrenching, unrelenting. Tell me, have you ever felt pain? Condescending, muscles clenching. Tell me, have you ever felt pain? A rose emerges from the pavement cracks. I'll write my eulogy with broken glass. Eternal parallax.
Pain.
Pain the author, I accept this. Pain the teacher, bruised apprentice. Pain resisting, pain will come. Pain the mother, I'm the son. Pain that splits you, and too many hits you. The dark and the light will converge to one. Pain that twists you, the heavens dismiss you. The Father, the Ghost, and the Holy Son. Body bagging me. Zip it up quick, get their things on B. I search for peace in the belly of a beast. Sick boy, onomatopoeia. Running up a fever, following a leader. Wanna be me, huh? Grass isn't greener. Bright light seizure, dynamite dealer. Dine at the table of the coroner, E-top for 13 years and I've been feeling so stuck. Lucky number 13, just my luck. Empires tumble, rubble and dust. The universe shrinks and the planets combust. In God we trust. God tied a noose to his neck and he walked to the edge and he jumped. Angels wept, I bear witness, watching the whole thing unfold from my bed. A bed where I never deep rest, a bed where I'm always depressed, a bed with the human oppressed, a bed for a tomb where I slept, a bed in the room that's a womb for this mess. Sick boy bitten by a tick boy, tell me how it feels to be buried while you breathe. Stones and sticks boy, pain is a gift boy, hard to make a stand when you crawl on your knees and I kneel.
First, I have to say the imagery, which is an interpretation of Mark Lalonde's understanding, I guess, of the lyrics, is interesting. It was hard for me to keep up with the imagery because I was trying to go back sort of to the lyrics, which we have on the screen on the side so that we can follow. It was very difficult to follow. He's kind of almost like rapping it very quickly. It's very difficult to get the meaning. I got that in the first verse, it wasn't even English. It was in something that sounded like could potentially be Gaelic. And the translation to that, which I pulled off Google Translate, it basically says, illness is my teacher. My smile broke. My bones feel old. Here lies REN's body. This is the introduction to the song. So he's already letting us know that this is a song about a very, very dark place that he was in, and potentially it goes deep sort of into his illness and really about pain. Very, very interesting.
By that interpretation, he has made this song after a period of dwelling in extreme morbid thoughts. That's what it feels like. I'm trying to detach myself from the imagery and just to try to pick that up from the translation of the beginning lyrics. That's what it feels like so far.
This is Mark Lalonde's interpretation. Generally, we get REN's idea of how he wants to present the lyrics. Always very interesting, very sort of a filmmaker's eye to it. It's all about the storytelling. And this, while the imagery is quite beautiful and very interesting, I can't help but feel that it might be a little too sort of on the nose, because the artist, Mark Lalonde, he's trying to just convey what he sees when he hears the lyrics, where Ren's might actually be more sort of subtexted.
We kind of knew it going in. It's Ren's song filtered through Mark's take on his song.
Yeah, which is, again, it's a beautiful video. The imagery is really striking, but it was giving me an idea of what I was hearing, where I couldn't follow the lyrics. You know what I mean? Because the lyrics were going pretty quickly. The next section, which was the spoken intro, was a really powerful section where he's basically talking about the extent of his pain and how much it affected him. He called it an uninvited guest, how much it felt like the pain was invading his body, and bones were a home where the devil could rest. It's like he felt like his body was pretty much taken over by the devil because it was just so painful. And he expresses frustration, where he cursed the gods, cursed his Messiah, cursed his maker, cursed all of creation. And I love that ending, there I lay feeble and thin, sick boy, 7 my sins. So there was maybe an element of guilt in there, where he felt like he's being punished for past sins.
I think he's trying to describe in so many words to give a face or a name to the pain that he's feeling. It's quite an unimaginable thing to describe. Even if we dive deep into the lyrics, I don't think we can really understand what Ren went through, because prolonged physical pain can mess with your sanity.
He actually goes into that in a way, because he says, have you ever felt pain? Like he's telling us, I think, his audience. Can you relate to this? Do you even know what I'm saying? He says, stomach wrenching, unrelenting, tell me, have you ever felt pain? Condescending, muscles clenching, tell me, have you ever felt pain? A rose emerges from the pavement cracks, they'll write my eulogy with broken glass, eternal parallax, pain.
When I experienced pain, I had a few accidents in my lifetime, but the pain always comes in waves. It comes and then there's a micro relief or some relief. That's always how I have experienced pain. But the way he's describing it, he's not having any relief from it. It's constant hell for him with no way to escape. So that kind of to try and relate to that, I want to, but I physically can't. The line you mentioned, condescending muscles clenching, he's like constantly being betrayed by his own body. I've felt that way before, where something hurts without no reason. You get angry at your body part. You get angry at your muscles or your stomach or your head for hurting so much. Like, why are you hurting? It's like your organs are the enemy because they hurt so much. To that I can relate, but to that level of pain where it hurts so much you're about to go insane, I can't really understand that.
It's funny because in one point here, I think he actually describes maybe a version of relief where he can actually see some beauty, where he says a rose emerges from the pavement cracks. Like, this is where his world is, it's pavement, and then a rose emerges from the cracks is like a positive thing. But then he went and referred to his eulogy and later to this sort of eternal pain. So I think he's basically almost wishing for death at that point.
Yeah, you just want it to stop. You don't even want to get better. You just want the pain to stop.
In the second verse, he says, pain the author, I accept this. Pain the teacher, bruised apprentice. Pain resisting, pain will come. Pain the mother, I'm the son. Wow. Pain that splits you in two when it hits you. The dark and the light all converge to one. Pain that twists you, the heavens dismiss you, the Father, the Ghost, and the Holy Son.
It hurts so much, it makes you question your faith. If God loves me so much, why does it hurt so much? So he's got to divert the blame to himself. I must have sinned. That's the only thing that can justify this pain. I must have sinned. I must be a horrible person to deserve this kind of punishment.
As well as saying, a pain that splits you in two when it hits you, the dark and the light all converge to one, is basically saying because there's so much pain, the darkness comes in. It's making him doubt his faith. Heaven dismisses you. And but at the beginning of that, he's saying pain is the author, the teacher. He's basically given up at this point and saying that he understands that the pain is in control of him rather than the other way around. And it's all at this point. We don't know how long it goes for, but we know that this is potentially, temporary. As far as these types of thoughts. It's beautifully written.
No measure of coherent thought can sway him from the pain. He has no way to interpret it or no way to devise an opinion on it. All he cares about at this point is for the pain to stop. So he questions everything. To a person like that who's in that much pain, you can't even offer any solace. No words will help.
In the next verse, he goes into body bags, body bagging me, zip it up quick, a living zombie. I search for peace in the belly of the beast. Sick boy, onomatopoeia, running up a fever, following a leader, wanna be me, huh? Grass isn't greener, bright light seizure, dynamite dealer. He wishes for death. He's saying, I'm basically a living zombie, you know, zip me up, put me in a body bag, I'm done.
Yeah, that's the only notion in his head that means pain stops. Pain gets to stop when you die. It's not coming from depression or no reason to live. I just want the pain to stop. To get to that point is actually to assume insanity, even if it's temporary. It's to be insane for that time where he's hurting.
Well, speaking of time, there's an actual indication of time here. He says, dine at the table of the coroner, eat up, fuck. 13 years, and I've been feeling so stuck. He's been at this for 13 years at this point. Sickness and illness that is inflicting him with this much pain and no relief. He says, lucky number 13, just my luck. Empires tumble, rubbles and dust. The universe shrinks and the planets combust. In God we trust. God tied a noose to his neck and he walked to the edge and he jumped. Angels wept. I bear witness, watching the whole thing unfold from my bed. A bed where I never depressed. A bed where I'm always depressed. A bed with a human oppressed, a bed for the tomb where I slept, a bed in this room that's a womb for this mess. Sick boy bitten by a tick boy, tell me how it feels to be buried while you breathe. Wow.
Wow.
Stones and sticks, boy. Pain is a gift, boy. Hard to make a stand when you crawl on your knees and I kneel. It's incredible, the level.
He's in an unimaginable situation where he can't get used to that pain. He says 13 years. He's in hell for 13 years. And he's describing God tied a noose around his neck. He's collapsing to that notion. It's not a thought that's supposed to give him comfort. What must have happened? God must have perished to make me suffer so much. It's the only thing that can explain it, that there is no God.
He's saying God is dead. He's saying, you know, in God we trust. God tied a noose to his neck and he walked to the edge and he jumped. Angels wept. So he's saying, yeah, God basically killed himself, not only dead. You know? He's saying he's experiencing all of this from his bed, you know, where I assume due to the pain and whatever painkillers or whatever else he was on, he may have had some hallucinations. Some of this might have been things that crept into his mind, things where he had these dreams, feverish kind of dreams. And this is the imagery that he saw, I think. It's really interesting.
When you crawl on your knees and I kneel at the altar of my own disease and I beg this guy for mercy. Mercy never came. I did me dirty, 33 and hurting, cursing. Jesus died at 33 and still my sins are lurking. Gears are turning, future stays uncertain. Surgeon incision, murder ambition. Fear of the unknown preserves a religion. Denounced the gods when my body went missing. Back then, the pain spray ricochet like a Mac 10. Hot lead hit the bed that was trapped in. Red wing seraphim out of God's grace. Cried tears from heaven like Clapton. Stick pins in the voodoo Hendrix. Thick skin, stay humble Kendrick. Stay skeptic, check the biometrics. Bloodstained crime scene forensic. Lights on, lights out. Fade into the background. So down. Running from the silhouette of self-doubt. By now, really should have figured this shit out. Lights on, lights out. Smackdown. Let it be. Quote John Lennon. Click clack, John got shot for attention. What does that tell you about the good deep intentions? Bitterness formed in a storm of aggression. Prophets get dropped, imagining heaven. Martin Luther, Mahatma, dead. 6-6 followed by 6 and 7. Build and praise and bury them dead. I was born to be half a man with half a chance. My heart isn't half righteous. Half is down and half a gram. Half those troubles and thoughts stay darker than Urukai master plan. Sharper than glass shards, splinter and cinnamon. Irony could kill a man. He makes money when the music lands. Expand, pay me my cheese, rain down parmesan. Followed by 7 whole sins for a self-made Armageddon. Sin 1, pride. Pride makes a man kill a man for his ego to survive. Sin 2, lust makes the grass look greener. Crucifies trust. Sin 3, gluttony. Humans consume and consume. Planet Earth gets a frontal lobotomy. 4, sloth. Rinse and repeat. Reruns, repeat. Time lost. Sin 5, envy. That's when one man's win is another man's frenzy. Sin 6, wrath, rage, vengeance, killers, psychopath. Sin 7, greed. Greed plants a seed that will destroy us all if we succumb to greed. If we take what we need, then take more than we need, then our oceans will bleed. Still we feed and we sleep and repeat. Then we exile the shepherds and follow the sheep. We inherit the meat. We inherit this world that we bruise and we beat. We inherit this vanity, soakers of creeds. Inherit the liars, the murderous thieves. One sin for every one day of the week.
Shit.
Wow. Wow. This was extremely powerful. His writing is very impressive. I just wanted to go back to a part we looked at earlier, and it sort of dawned on me when he says pain the author, pain the teacher, pain the mother. I think he's actually saying that through this process, REN was created, and he almost kind of credits who he is and where he got to this pain. You know, where he said, you know, a rose emerges through the cracks. It's potentially to do with him and his attitude and how pain helped put everything in perspective for him. So he goes from this personal hell and very, very personal thoughts. And later, it's almost like he wished to be dead, and then he was reborn in a way. So, you know, once he kind of got out of it, his whole attitude changed. So this whole song seems like it's this process where he sort of reveals how he reached a certain point, and then he shares it with us to almost say, you know, you can see all of this as well, and you can get to this point as well. You don't have to go through all this pain to get there.
If you consciously teach yourself to look at things in the right perspective, he was forced to have that perspective because he knows how low things can get.
He went through a whole roller coaster, an emotional one as well, trying to work out, because he didn't even have a name for it. He didn't know what it was. So he was only addressing the pain and not so much the reason for it. In the next verse, he goes into, you know, I kneel at the altar of my own disease and I beg the sky for mercy. Mercy never came. Life did me dirty. 33 and hurting, cursing. Jesus died at 33 and still my sins are lurking. Gears are turning, future stays uncertain, surgeon incision, murder ambition, fear of the unknown, preserves a religion, denounce the gods where my body went missing. You know, that one bit of a sentence, actually, gears are turning, that's the bit that got me thinking. So he's thinking through all this, I think. His gears are actually turning. I don't know if he talks about the world's gears that, you know, keep on turning, or it's his own mind, you know, where he keeps thinking and he's actually making something out of this pain. I think he's kind of molding himself through it, whether he's aware of it or not. He was already 33 years old at this stage, you know, comparing to Jesus.
Yeah. He's even Jesus got the sweet release of death after his suffering, and I'm still hurting. And he says, fear of the unknown preserves a religion. He's hurting enough to know that he's experiencing an extreme, and he can say, this is known to me. I know what it's like to hurt so much. So the fear of the unknown preserves a religion, as in, after knowing what pain is, he feels he has a better grasp, better perspective on what not to fear.
It's just, he has a very sort of vivid descriptions of, you know, of pain and what happened. You know, back then, the pain sprayed, ricocheted like a MAC-10. Hot lead hit the bed I was trapped in. Red wings, seraphim out of God's grace. Cried tears from heaven like Clapton. Stick pins in a voodoo, Hendrix. Thick skin, stay humble, Kendrick. Stay skeptic, check the biometrics, bloodstains, crime scene, forensic.
He's correlating between different artists' types of pain and some of the lyrics that they may have used in their songs. I think he's trying to say, my experiences are creating the fodder for me to create from as an artist. I've known this pain. I'm one of those. I can turn it into my art. It's probably not the only thing he's saying, but that it arises from it. He's trying to help us understand what he is going through.
We do know that art is created from pain and adversity and some kind of a lacking in something, you know, a lack of some sort. So here, you know, especially the line about Clapton, you know, cried tears from heaven like Clapton. Tears in Heaven was a song about losing his little boy, about his son dying. He might even be saying, you know, that people can actually go through worse.
Yeah.
So maybe that put it for him, you know, in perspective.
Yeah, he's correlating between the pain he has, some sort of pain that never goes away, like Clapton's pain.
Yeah, because he goes from that sort of pain relating to Clapton, and then he says, stick pins in a voodoo, Hendrix. Thick skin, stay humble, Kendrick, obviously Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Then he says, stay skeptic, check the biometrics, bloodstain, crime scene, forensic. So throughout this whole thing, he is still thinking about, you know, what's going on around him. You know, he's remaining skeptic about certain things. It could even be about certain diagnoses that he received from doctors.
He's not giving up. He's still looking at things. He's still hopeful for a solution to be found.
He's not giving up, even though he's on the verge the whole time.
Yeah.
He goes into the bridge after that, lights on, lights out, fade into the background, so down, running from a silhouette of self-doubt. By now, really should have figured this shit out. Lights on, lights out, smackdown.
Yeah. It's like a cycle. Yeah, it's like a cycle of what he goes through every day, I think.
Yeah, running from the silhouette of self-doubt. By now, I should have worked all this out, and it's like, this is the frustration of, the doctors and everything not being able to help him, to know what it is, to recover from it in some way and all the rest of it. In the next verse, he says, let it be, quote John Lennon, click, clack, John got shot for attention.
Yeah.
What does that tell you about the good of intentions? I love that line. Bitterness formed in a storm of aggression. Prophets get dropped imagining heaven. Martin Luther, Mahatma, more deadness. 6 followed by 6 and 7. Build them, praise them, bury them, dead them.
Wow. A lot to unpack in here in this verse. He's actually saying people who fought for utopia are dropped. They're assassinated. He even says about John Lennon, he was murdered for stupid reasons. That's how far good intentions take you. You get shot. He described the number 6 followed by 6 and 7, like 666, the number of the beast, and 7, the seven deadly sins.
You mentioned the stupid reason, but you didn't say what it was. John got shot for attention.
Attention, yeah. He says it's a cycle. It keeps on happening. Build them, praise them, bury them, dead them. So build them, praise them. As soon as somebody has different, something that is disruptive to the way the evil world works, then the sinister thinkers will try to bury them, slander their name, and then they'll kill them. That's what happened to Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi
and John Lennon. All three were kind of like prophets of peace, whether in politics or just kind of socially, but had a big following, and people were going with what they were saying, which means they were kind of creating change. And of course, people on the other side had to make it stop. And then he goes into, I was born to be half a man with half a chance. My heart is in half righteous, half is damned. And half a gram, half those troubles end. Thoughts stay darker than Urukai's master plan, sharper than glass, shot splinter, and sinner man, irony could kill a man. Pain makes money when the music lands. Expand, pay my cheese, rain down Parmesan.
He's acknowledging that amongst a lot of other things in this verse, he's acknowledging that his pain is the source of his creation.
Of his muse, and what the pain created was a living for him. So yeah, he gives the pain its due in a way, and acknowledges the part that pain had in his success as well.
Yeah, so the pain wasn't in vain.
Very, very interesting. In the next verse, which I think is the last one, I think here he goes into the 7 deadly sins. He says 666 followed by 7, which is repeating from the previous one. 7 whole sins for a self-made Armageddon. Sin 1, pride. Pride makes a man kill a man for his ego to survive. Sin 2, lust. Lust makes the grass look greener, crucifies trust. Sin 3, gluttony. Humans consume and consume. Planet Earth gets a frontal lobotomy. He's used, if not this exact line, then something similar in other songs as well, where he, criticizes the same thing about how we're ruining the planet and, taking more than we need, that kind of thing. 4, sloth, rinse and repeat, reruns, repeat, time lost. Sin 5, envy. That's when one man's win is another man's frenzy. Basically jealousy. Again, if your friend succeeds, instead of cheering them on, you tend to compete.
Resent them, yeah.
Yeah, you want to drag them down. Sin 6, wrath, rage, vengeance, killers, psychopaths. Sin 7, greed. Greed plants a seed that will destroy us all if we succumb to greed. If we take what we need, then take more than we need, then our oceans will bleed. Still we feed and we feed and we sleep, then repeat. Then we exile the shepherds and follow the sheep. We inherit the mean, we inherit this world that we bruised and we beat. We inherit this vanity, circus of creeps, inherit the liars, the murderous thieves, one sin for every one day of the week. I think he kind of hints at it here, when he says, we feed and we sleep, then repeat. Again, he uses sleep. So I think this is talking about his own awakening, where the pain helped him reach a point where he could actually see
Yeah.
what's around him. It
Yeah.
kind of, it kills you, but it also gives you focus and perspective. So I think this is again him trying to share some lessons and some things that he's learned over time through this journey of his,
Yep.
that can help us open our eyes to what is happening around us as well.
There's a connection between the effect that a prophet has and the amount of suffering that they went through. I don't know if that connection applies to REN. I like to think that it does. I don't know what Martin Luther King went through in his life, but Mahatma Gandhi, I know he was on hunger strikes. He went through a lot of suffering for his people. In this entire verse, he numbers the sins, and he's actually, in addition to numbering them, he's saying that that's the way the world behaves. And he connects it to the seventh verse, to the verse before that. Evil rules the world. So everybody who tries to build a utopia ends up dead. So in here, he says, we're still doing it. We live our lives in the world according to the 7 deadly sins. He says, we inherit the mean. So money becomes money and fortune or whatever, that becomes the goal for everybody as we trump over what really matters in life. As you said, we feed and we sleep. They're not even aware that they're doing it. He had to go through that amount of pain to really wake up from that perception, to get the right perspective. So he actually does see things that most people don't, just because of his life experience.
Yeah, and I think this song is really about pain and its place in giving people, that kind of perspective, and about how pain and adversity can actually build you up after it tears you down. But it has that effect, what doesn't kill me make me stronger. That's kind of where this seems to lead. REN is bringing us into his world like he's done before. He's sharing everything that he's been through, and he's saying, yeah, look at this. This is what I went through. Try to learn from my pain so that you don't have to experience it as well, but get to the prize in a way, get to the end result of that pain without having to go through it. But of course, that's not how people work. And I think he acknowledges that to some extent. He's aware that it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, because most people are addicted to instant gratification. They can't shake it off because most people don't know that level of pain. They may know that level of pain, but most of them just escape from it. They just collapse after that. There's a second side to the pain REN went through. He had to go through that pain and then come out of it and then build himself back. A lot of it comes from REN. It's not just the pain he went through.
Yeah, but I think that building up thing is a result of the pain, and I think that's what he's saying. The pain was a massive ingredient in that, because it strips everything down. It makes you question everything. It makes you question your beliefs, your religion, your core beliefs. All of a sudden, you see the world very, very differently. And maybe if that pain wasn't there, you wouldn't. So you would still be asleep, you would still have your eyes closed, and you wouldn't see, what he refers to here as the 7 sins. It opens your eyes to them, and you can see how people commit these sins on a daily basis, one for every day of the week, where they may or may not be aware of that. So this whole stripping you off of all these things, it's beliefs, and it's almost stripping you of your sins, the pain. It's like washes you clean, where you come out of it a completely different person. You have a new perspective, and it's almost like a beautiful thing. This rose from the pavement, just stuck in my head the whole time, where he sees pain, even though he was so frustrated with it, and he's lashing out and everything at the beginning. By the end of it, he is thanking it. In a way, and I can relate to that. I can understand that kind of outlook. It's very interesting. It's very well written, and it could mean very different things to different people.
When a person goes through that much pain, the simplest things may bring him solace, like a rose in the pavement. He notices beauty more because everything is horrible around him. And the people who didn't go through pain, according to what he's saying, I can agree with it, are likely people who are content with being sedated. They don't have that type of adversity to shake them out of their slumber and give them that perspective.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, like I said, there's levels to everything with REN. So in one respect, that's the rose is the beauty that he was still able to see while he was under all this pain. But in another, he is the rose who rose through those cracks, in the hell that he was in. And actually managed to come out of it and grow. It's really beautiful, the imagery that it evokes, which kind of takes me back again to Mark Lalonde in the video. and how he saw what, what the lyrics were giving him and the music and the feel of it. This is the imagery that it evoked for him.
Yeah. And he also points out that it wasn't trivial because the rose is not supposed to grow in pavement. He also points out that the easy way was to just give up and just collapse with his pain and just dwell in that pain forever, even if he had come out of it. So that it's not trivial that he was able to heal himself from that and make something of himself. He had to apply sheer willpower to rebuild himself using that pain.
This is REN, so it's like we can do 3-hour episodes, if not more, discussing everything and trying to go back and break it down. It's so difficult in the first reaction because there's so much. He is such an amazing storyteller that the depth that his lyrics and music and usually, the video clips that go along with it that he makes, there's just so much to unpack. Just amazing. And again, just want to thank Robert M. for the request. We appreciate the support.
Yeah, thanks, Robert. We enjoyed reacting to this song very much. If you enjoyed this episode, guys, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and click the little bell icons. You'll get notified on all our future videos. If you have a request you'd like bumped up the line, please make it through Buy Me a Coffee. All contributions are, of course, very much appreciated. Thank you all for sticking with us. Thank you all for your time.
They're just animals on stage, They know what they're doing. You can tell how comfortable they are and how hungry they are. I always have this feeling when I see them that they just want to, eat up the crowd. I think the world domination thing is really on their to-do list. And I think they're going to get there. So thanks a lot, guys. As always, we appreciate the support. And we'll be back in a couple of days with a new episode. We hope to see you all then. Thanks again, guys.
Bye, guys.